They're calm, self-directed, and quietly brilliant. And somehow the people closest to them are often the ones who stab them in the back. Why does this happen? Today we unpack the psychology, the patterns, and how Sigma men turn betrayal into power. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the root psychological causes behind why independent men face betrayal, how to recognize the warning signs before they strike, and the specific strategies Sigma males use to transform betrayal into unshakable strength. This isn't just theory. It's based on the latest research in social psychology and real-world patterns that play out every day.
Chapter 1. The hidden jealousy Sigma males trigger. Sigma men don't brag. They don't perform for applause. They don't post their wins on social media or fish for compliments. That silence, that refusal to compete for attention, becomes a mirror that shows others their own neediness. Recent research from 2024 studies on social hierarchy psychology reveals something fascinating. When people encounter someone who operates independently of social validation systems, it triggers what psychologists call competence envy. Unlike regular jealousy that focuses on what someone has, competence envy targets who someone is, their self-reliance, their emotional independence, their ability to succeed without fanfare. People around a Sigma begin to compare themselves not to a loud alpha demanding attention, but to someone who simply lives by an internal code. This creates psychological discomfort because it exposes their own dependency on external validation. The Sigma's quiet confidence becomes an unconscious indictment of their need for approval, their constant social performance, their exhausting quest for recognition. And jealousy, when hidden beneath the surface, becomes a slow poison. Petty comments disguised as jokes, subtle exclusion from group decisions, the snide laughter behind closed doors, and the gradual erosion of support when the Sigma needs it most. It's not about superiority. It's about the profound discomfort of seeing another person who doesn't need what you desperately crave, validation from others. This jealousy is particularly dangerous because it masquerades as friendship. The jealous person doesn't consciously plot against the Sigma. Instead, they engage in subtle sabotage that feels justified to them. They minimize achievements, create doubt, and slowly withdraw support, all while maintaining the facade of loyalty.
Chapter 2. Why Independence Threatens Others. Most social bonds rely on predictability. The same roles, the same scripts, the same unwritten contracts. You provide emotional labor, I provide emotional labor. You seek my approval, I seek yours. You depend on the group depends on you. But a Sigma refuses those predetermined lines, and that freedom looks like a threat to people who feel secure inside those roles. According to 2024 research on male psychology and social dynamics, independence breaks what psychologists call reciprocal dependency networks. These are the invisible systems where people maintain relationships through mutual need. When someone operates outside this system, it triggers what researchers term social script violation anxiety. The fear that if one person can break free, the whole system might collapse. The social dynamics of control become clear when independence enters the picture. Partners and friends unconsciously attempt to reassert the script through manipulation or sabotage. Why don't you ask for help becomes code for why don't you need me? You're being too independent becomes code for you're making me feel unnecessary. This is why independence, though psychologically healthy, becomes the very thing others try to tame. They'll use guilt. You never include us in your decisions. Emotional blackmail. If you really cared about this friendship, or social pressure. Everyone thinks you're being distant. To pull the Sigma back into dependency. The threat is existential for some people. If someone can succeed, be happy, and maintain their integrity without playing the social games they've built their identity around, what does that say about their own choices? Rather than question their dependency, they question the Sigma's independence. Rather than admire the freedom, they try to destroy it. This dynamic explains why betrayal often comes precisely when the Sigma is succeeding on their own terms. The independence that creates their success is the same quality that provokes the betrayal.
Chapter 3. Friends who can't handle their success. When a Sigma quietly wins, a promotion earned through their competence rather than politics, personal growth achieved through self-discipline rather than therapy sessions everyone must hear about, an unconventional victory that came from trusting their instincts over popular opinion. It doesn't come with marching bands or social media celebrations, and that's precisely what makes it dangerous for some friends. Research on envy psychology from 2024 reveals two types of envy: benign envy, which motivates self-improvement, and malicious envy, which seeks to destroy the envied person. Sigma males, because of their quiet success style, predominantly trigger malicious envy. The achievement is undeniable, but offers no chance for others to bask in reflected glory, no opportunity to feel included in the victory, no social proof they can claim. Instead of celebrating, friends begin a subtle campaign of erosion. It was nothing, they say, minimizing the achievement, or they invent reasons why it won't last. You just got lucky, or wait until they realize what you're really like, or success like that never lasts. These aren't casual comments, they're psychological warfare designed to plant doubt and diminish confidence. The social sabotage escalates when the Sigma doesn't respond to the minimization. Friends might exclude them from celebrations, forget to mention opportunities, or start sharing their victories with others while downplaying the Sigma's achievements. They create distance precisely when the Sigma has earned closeness. What makes this particularly painful is the timing. The betrayal comes not during struggles, when support would be meaningful, but during victories, when celebration should be natural. The message becomes clear: we'll stay friends as long as you don't outshine us. Success becomes lonely not because it's isolating, but because it reveals who was never really a friend at all. The Sigma learns that quiet victory comes with a price, the discovery that some relationships were built not on genuine connection, but on the comfort of maintaining similar levels of achievement and social status. Chapter 4. The pain of betrayal in silence. Betrayal among Sigmas doesn't often look like a dramatic knife in the back. It's a winter of small withdrawals that slowly freeze the relationship. Invitations stop coming without explanation. Confidences shared and trust begin appearing in conversations with others, distorted and decontextualized. Alliances shift without announcement, and suddenly the Sigma finds themselves on the outside of decisions that affect them. Research on friendship betrayal shows that this subtle form of betrayal creates what psychologists call ambiguous loss, the grief that comes from losing someone who is still physically present but emotionally absent. For someone who values authenticity and quiet trust above social performance, this slow retreat stings more than any dramatic fight ever could. The emotional toll is uniquely painful for Sigmas because they don't easily form deep connections. When they do invest trust, it's profound and genuine. The betrayal doesn't just hurt, it validates their instinct to remain guarded, creating what researchers term trust trauma loops, where betrayal reinforces isolation, which makes future betrayals more likely to occur. The silence becomes a betrayal louder than any argument. At least in conflict, there's acknowledgement, engagement, the possibility of resolution.
But the slow withdrawal offers no closure, no explanation, no opportunity for understanding or repair. The Sigma is left analyzing conversations for clues, questioning their perception of reality, wondering if they imagined the closeness that once existed. This emotional confusion is particularly difficult because Sigmas typically trust their own judgment. When betrayal comes from someone they assessed as trustworthy, it forces them to question not just the relationship, but their ability to read people accurately. The self-doubt that follows betrayal can be more damaging than the betrayal itself, shaking the foundation of the very independence that defines them. The pain is compounded by the Sigma's natural tendency towards silence. While others might seek support, vent to mutual friends, or process the betrayal publicly, Sigmas suffer quietly, often deepening their isolation, precisely when connection might help heal the wound.
Chapter 5. How Sigmas transform betrayal into strength. Here's the Sigma edge. Betrayal becomes data, not destiny. While others might burn bridges in anger or sink into victimhood, the Sigma studies the pattern with clinical detachment. They ask different questions. What information does this betrayal provide? What did I miss in my assessment? How can this experience improve my judgment? This analytical approach to emotional wounds is supported by 2024 research on resilience psychology. Studies show that individuals who can process betrayal as information rather than identity damage recover faster and form stronger future relationships. The key is what researchers call strategic vulnerability, the ability to remain open to connection while implementing better screening processes. Instead of closing off completely, Sigmas turn the hurt into a filter. They develop what psychologists term adaptive guardedness, maintaining the capacity for trust while becoming more selective about who earns it. This isn't cynicism, it's wisdom gained through experience. The practical recovery steps become systematic. Boundary reinforcement through clear communication of expectations, selective vulnerability through graduated trust building, and the construction of what researchers call micro-tribes, small networks of genuinely aligned individuals who share similar values around loyalty, authenticity, and mutual respect. Sigmas understand that betrayal often reveals character flaws that were always present but previously hidden. They learn to read the subtle signs. The friend who gossips about others will eventually gossip about you. The person who needs to diminish others' successes will eventually target yours. The individual who can't be happy for your victories was never truly happy for you at all. This reframing transforms the Sigma's relationship with betrayal entirely. Instead of seeing it as evidence that people can't be trusted, they see it as evidence that their judgment needs refinement. Instead of proof that independence is necessary because others are unreliable, they see it as proof that independence attracts better quality relationships by filtering out those who can't handle authenticity. The very independence that provoked the original betrayal becomes the bedrock of resilience, the foundation for building something stronger. Today, we've uncovered why Sigma males face betrayal, not despite their strengths, but because of them. We've explored the psychological triggers, the hidden jealousy, the threat of independence, and the inability of others to handle quiet success. And we've seen how the pain of silent betrayal can be transformed into strategic wisdom. The signs are clear once you know what to look for: the subtle minimization, the gradual withdrawal, the shift from celebration to sabotage. And the path forward is equally clear. Treat betrayal as information, not condemnation. Build better filters, not higher walls. Transform the experience into strength, not cynicism. If you've been betrayed by someone close, comment one line about how you felt. I'll read and respond to every single one. Your experience matters, and your recovery is possible.
Hit subscribe for more insights into the psychology of independence and strength.